Merry Christmas, everyone, from 7th Hour Films. I'm Alex. I've ruined this entire intro because I don't know what to say next. Welcome back to Mr. Robot. Last time on Mr. Robot, we had 404 Not Found, as my chair continues squeaking. Darlene was trying to go somewhere, ran into a drunk Santa, then they went driving to take him home, only to get there and realize that they stole a car. And then Darlene had to work out her frustrations with Elliot. Meanwhile, Elliot and Terrell were trying to deal with the guy that was listening in on them. However, they had to walk through the forest. They ended up finding him and killed him. Terrell was shot, however, and and it's Christmas. Yeah, that's basically that. So, let's just go ahead and get right into this episode of Mr. Robot. Here we go.
Hello there. I'm very sweaty, and there was a very interesting issue with this episode of Mr. Robot. So, unfortunately, the original upload of this episode was blocked. Super blocked. I put in a dispute and they left it blocked anyway, which normally doesn't happen with Mr. Robot. But there is a way around that. What you gotta do to watch the reaction to this episode of Mr. Robot is head down in the description or in the pinned comment, and that will take you over to the reaction. It's just like a normal edited reaction. You can go and you can watch it. However, there's also another way you can watch this episode. Because this episode has no dialogue, I thought it would be fun to do a silent reaction to this episode, where basically I take the normal reaction, it's the exact same reaction basically, but I just take out all of my audio and instead put in subtitles. I thought it would just be a fun little thing to do. There's no real difference between that and the normal version of the reaction other than, sound and reading subtitles. So if you want to be weird, honestly, and do that, you can. Just head down in the description and the pinned comment to find the silent version of this reaction. Sorry about this. Hopefully it won't happen again, but just how it happens for this one. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a show that's difficult for me to recommend because while it is a brilliant show, goddamn is it depressing as all get out. But I will say, on a technical level, this show is incredible. Maybe one of the most fascinatingly directed shows I've ever seen, you know? I mean, from the one-shot episode we had last season, now this, where literally there was no dialogue save for 2 lines at the beginning and the end. And did there need to be? Probably not. Did they need to do that? No. There were plenty of moments where they could have thrown in, there would have been a standard line or two. But no, they just, Sam Esmail just decided, screw it, no dialogue this episode. And both times, the first one is Darlene saying, it's okay, we don't need to talk. And the last one is Vera saying, it's time to talk. From a technical level, from a filmmaking standpoint, this show is fascinating to watch. It also happens to be one of the most depressing shows I've ever seen in my life. Not this episode, I will say. We've had plenty of depressing episodes. This is not really one of them, but yeah. And I just love, again, I'm going to say it, and you're probably tired of me saying it by now, but I love how much this season is steeped in Christmas. Oh, it's a great setting, you know? It's so interesting because you would think, you would think in like movies or TV shows that Christmas is just you'd almost think having Christmas in a work of fiction is almost a gimmick, but it's not. It makes everything such the more interesting, you know? Take, for example, Die Hard, as we saw in this movie, in this episode. Die Hard, there's a million movies like Die Hard, but for some reason it gets that extra... Now, first off, Die Hard, without Christmas, Die Hard would still be amazing, but for some reason there's that extra little oomph because Die Hard is set at Christmas, you know? Granted, the rest of Die Hard is amazing, but the setting of it is just so fascinating. And the same thing here, when everyone is going around and there's just Christmas music and Christmas decorations everywhere. I don't know why. But it's just great. It is just great. Alrighty. So, with that said, I don't know if there's actually a lot to say about this episode. This might not be the longest discussion, because this was one of those things are happening, things happen episodes, But the fact that, only 2 lines are said in this is amazing. That was so brilliant. It's one of those, I remember there was a recent episode of The Bad Batch that I reacted to, where in the episode they were going through a place where if you talk this, these aliens will wake up and stuff. Long story short is, during that segment of the episode, I stayed quiet because I wanted to play along. I was like, oh, don't talk, and I was just doing gestures to the camera, and it was all nice and fun. We all had a good laugh and stuff. There's a part of me that wishes I had done that for this, but that wouldn't work. I can't do an entire episode of no talking, So, plus it took me a while to realize that was the case. That this was a silent episode. Man, oh man, that's just so... It's one of those things, I love when those things pop up, because it takes you a minute to start to realize, oh, wait a second, So, that's definitely, and it definitely reminds me of the one-shot episode, where, about 5 minutes in, you realize, wait a minute, this has all still been one shot, and then you're just watching, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's still one shot, Ooh, that'd be a good idea for a video. Huh. Alright, I just had an idea of how to edit this episode, but I don't know if I want to go through with it. That's a commitment right there. Okay, basically, and I guess you'll have seen if I end up doing this, but the idea I just had for this video is, during all the times where there's not talking, what if I take away my audio track and instead just put subtitles? They'd be accurate subtitles, because I would, before I take out the audio, I would put in all the subtitles, then take out the audio. So all you wouldn't hear me, but you would still see all of it. Oh, you know how tempting that is now? And of course, you're sitting here watching the episode, whether or not I chose that, but ooh, I'm tempted now. Dang it, no. Oh. See, when Mr. Robot does crazy things with, when they do crazy things with their filmmaking, I want to do crazy things with my video making. Because that was what we did with the one-shot episode, was I retained the one-shot. So instead of cutting between different parts of the reaction, I fast-forwarded it, so to keep the reaction. Oh, I'm tempted. Maybe I'll talk about that on Twitter, see what people think. But, that is so tempting. I'm going to have to think about that, though. Of course, again, you will have seen... Maybe I'll do 2 versions, one with audio and one without. That could work. I don't know. If I end up taking out the audio, though, let me know what you guys thought of that. If that is what I end up doing. Oh, God, that's going to take me a long time to edit, though. I bet you. Alright, so... but we are at least allowed to talk here, now, because Vera said it's okay to talk now. It's time to talk. So, oh fuck, I can't get that out of my head now. Oh, all right, moving on. So, virtual reality, which is an interesting name for the company, but all right. So, I don't remember like what was the purpose of going into their service. I think they couldn't use Olivia's authorization to do something with Cyprus National Bank, so they had to go to these servers specifically. I guess that was it. So virtual reality, they have the servers for Cyprus National Bank, basically. I guess that's basically it. So they went in and got into the system, which was interesting. There was the whole thing with a time limit. The time limit to see or to knock out the cameras, which was good. I liked the whole thing of getting the thumbprint. Just this whole thing. Well, first off, I like that it was just, it's like, it's Elliot and Darlene doing it. Like, there wasn't any, it's like, no, it's Elliot and Darlene going in. No qualms or anything. So I did really like that. And, going in, she's in disguise, and he just sort of sneaks on in anyway. That was very clever. And then using the print, which I have to say, I'm filming with my phone, so I can't just mime this. Well, here. I'm going to mime this with my Blu-ray of Prison Break. So, the guy picked it up like this, right? They really did take a chance that he would do that, because you know how I often grab my phone? Like this. That would not give you the thumbprint, you know? Now, unless, if it was, handing it over, then I might do that, but for the most part, no. I would pick it up like this. So, that might give you the index finger, maybe, but that's not going to give you my thumbprint. So, they kind of lucked out on how that guy picked up the cell phone. So, but then going through the whole thing of taking the print, copying it, and then throwing it through, I don't know, Photoshop, I don't know what the hell program that was, making it into a 3D image that they then 3D printed, and then once they 3D printed it, they used the old putty that all the kids used to play with. They used the old putty stuff, and then used that in order to get in. That was very interesting, because I feel like you never really see that much of a process, And again, I'm sorry, my chair is squeaking to high heaven, but yeah, so yeah, that's the thing, like, with, like, I feel like, I don't know, like, I guess, I don't know, like, I feel like I just never see that much of a process of getting a thumbprint, but that was very, very clever. I like that. We had the whole thing with Price getting set up for the meeting. So at first I thought that it was, the different things he was being led to was for Elliot, but it was specifically Deus Group meeting stuff. So, but they are on. The meeting is today, Christmas Day. It is today, Christmas Day. And yeah, so there is that, at least. Price is going to the meeting. Wellick or not, the meeting is on. Which again, we don't really know what happened to Tyrell. I don't want to say he's just dead. Is he still in the cast? He's not in the cast. He's not in the cast, but Christian Slater is still in the cast list, despite him not appearing in this episode. I guess if anything, that just makes it worse. Oh my god. They credit Bruce Willis as John McClane. Oh, that's hilarious. That's so funny. So yeah. I don't want to say Terrell's dead yet. I'm unconfirmed if he is dead yet. But yeah. We had everything with Dom going in. her Christmas day being interrupted by the Dark Army and dealing with the van and stuff. But she was proactive and found the stuff with the camera and told that to Janice, who was happy for it. You know what I just thought? I don't know why the hell I just thought this. But I guess just saying the name Janice, because I never really hear that name too often. Now I just want it to be Janice from Friends. Can you imagine, the kind of Mike Ehrmantraut character, that both Irving and Janice have been now? Where it's this person that, does these specific things for the Dark Army and, White Rose and everything, but it's fucking Janice from Friends. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. Or as she would say, oh my God, that'd be hilarious. I haven't watched that show in a few years, so that's the best I can do for a Janice impression. Anyway. But Dom was proactive. Unfortunately, that is interrupting her Christmas again. And I mean, I get why they would want Dom to do it, but at the same time, it's like, can you let Dom have Christmas off? But no, she's and of course, she's going after Elliot and Darlene, the people who have ruined her life, So, there's that. Let's see. There was the servers, which was interesting, and the guard, the well-hydrated guard. I did kind of like that, actually, that he took his water bottle with him, he kept drinking water. He likes to stay hydrated, you gotta give him credit. I mean, hey, I'm all for that. Stay hydrated, folks. Especially right now, when it's hot as balls outside. And especially, water is so good when I do these videos. I know I start the day with Pepsi, and it takes me a little while to get to my water, but on days when I'm recording and I'm talking this much, talking so much to the microphone, I definitely gotta drink water, Or when I have to do, voiceover work, nothing crazy. When I do voiceovers for my own videos and stuff, definitely have water. Stay hydrated, folks. That's the PSA of today. But the guard who, luckily for a little while didn't notice anything. And then they hit the lights, which was good. And then Elliot just hauls ass right out of there and just distracts all of them, which was good. And yeah, I just love that. Just running through Central Park and everything. That was really, really funny. I like that. And then, they're just chasing. And then they get to the ice and they're running across the ice. Elliot gets to the bus where the entire nativity scene is there. Again, I love stuff like that where it's it's set at Christmas. So who's going to be on this bus? People in costume for the nativity scene. Okay, that's kind of funny. It's just a funny visual, God, I love Christmas. Oh, it's so amazing. But yeah. But he went over to the bus, then had to keep running again, until eventually he had to just he literally jumped off a cliff and rolled down, and luckily Darlene was there to get to him. And then they drove off, so that was rough. That was definitely really rough, but he did it. He got away. So yeah. And then the last thing was Krista and Vera. And again, very, very clever of just, at the beginning of the episode, Darlene says, "It's okay, we don't need to talk." Thus, there is no dialogue until the last second when Vera says, "It's time we talk." Brilliant. Brilliant. Did they need to do that for this episode? No. Did they do it? Yes. And I love that. And oh, I am tempted. I'm tempted. I'm gonna have to ask. What I'm gonna do, and again, you've already seen the result, is I'm gonna ask on Twitter and see what people would think. Though I don't know how many people following me on Twitter actually do watch these reactions. I know there are a good chunk of you here watching these reactions, but I'm not sure how many of you guys follow me on Twitter. Well, I'll just use this as a plug for my Twitter account, where I post dumb questions and a dumb joke and dumb videos every so often. So, yeah. And I ask, editing questions, would you guys be interested if I did something like this in a video? So, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to say maybe I do 2 versions, one with sound and one without, but I'm very tempted to do it without sound. Ooh, the editing. See, this is my favorite. This might be one of my favorite parts of Mr. Robot, is when they do something crazy in filmmaking, I do something crazy in video making. So yeah. But we'll see. And by we'll see, I mean I'll see, because you've already seen, because you've watched the episode. And thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Mr. Robot reactions, there is a playlist on screen, as well as another video you can go check out if you want to. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.